Hey guys, it's Ernesto and welcome back to yet another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm having a wonderful day. So today we're going to talk about how I use 4 different lighting sources, which included window light, available light, strobe, and also the direct sun. Let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get straight into this video. Alright, so before we get into this video, I need to provide a little bit of context and a little bit of background. So I met Harry about 2 years ago at Shutterfest, and we promised that we're going to meet up with each other one day in North Carolina. So fast forward 2 years later, we got an opportunity to make good on that promise when Harry made his way down from Jersey to Charlotte, and he brought his significant other. For this meetup, we talked about doing a photo shoot, but really and truly there was no plan associated with this photo shoot. I had no idea about what the theme was going to be for this photo shoot, no idea about the location, no idea about what the wardrobe selection would be, nothing. Then on top of that, I really don't know Charlotte that well. Although I live in North Carolina, I don't go to Charlotte that often. I was literally walking into the unknown. The only thing that I knew walking into this photo shoot is that we were going to do an initial shoot in his hotel room, and then we were going to head down to downtown Charlotte to finish up the shoot. All right, so let's talk about the hotel room. So upon arrival, Harry was talking about this series that he was doing, which is about shooting in small spaces. And indeed, this hotel room was a small space. The lighting in this room was not that great, and on top of that, the window light was not that great either. So Harry had a few lighting options and he asked me what I wanted to do. So since I had no idea what I wanted to do, I approached this just like I would any other wedding, which is basically utilize the window light to start. However, as I stated earlier, the window light was not that great, but I wanted to try it anyways just to start out something to see what I get. In this hotel room, I basically utilized 3 lighting sources. I utilized the window light, available light, and strobes, and I'm going to walk you through all 3 of those lighting setups now. So let's start with the window light. So my primary objective was to get the subject as close to the main light as possible, which was the window. So besides hating the light that was coming from this window, another thing that I hated was the fixture behind the subject. It was something that I tried to remove, but it just wasn't budging, so I wasn't able to remove it. Another factor that I had to deal with was rapport. I had 0 rapport with the subject because we never met before, we never really talked prior to the shoot, so we had no rapport. And you know, since I had no rapport with her, she had no rapport with me, so that I was I was dealing with that as well. Also, she's not a model, but typically that's usually not a big deal for me because I generally pose my subject for the most part. But the one thing that you really can't pose, and that's someone's face, getting a great expression from someone's face. So for that reason, I was trying to focus primarily on trying to get in more of a cinematic story, utilizing this window light. Ultimately, this window light wasn't working for me at all to capture that story. So I quickly abandoned the use of the window light to move on to another light source. But before I move on to that next light source and explain it, I'm going to show you the images that I got from the window light. Available light. So after quickly abandoning the window light, I turned on a lamp in the room, and the lamp became my primary light source. I knew this weak light source would provide dramatic shadows and a bit of mystery and add interest to the image, which I hope would tell a more cinematic story. I then added in Harry's Flashpoint AD600, which was just acting more as a backlight, and I only used the modeling light for this shot. And then finally, I posed the subject's face directly to the light, which added that bit of mystery that I was looking for and that cinematic story that I was going for. So strobes. My final setup in this room was to try to push the storytelling a little bit more by using cinematic lighting. So my initial plan was to use the window light as the main light source on my subject's face and basically having the hotel as my backdrop with that lamp that I used in the previous setup also there as a fixture. So as you can imagine, I quickly realized that the window light was not that great, as I noted before. So because of that, I wasn't able to get a proper exposure on the subject face and at the same time maintaining a proper exposure for the background. So I decided to add the Flashpoint AD600 outside, which was right outside the window. I couldn't put it next to me because it would have been way too powerful, even at the lowest power for the subject's face. So it was put outside. So after I took a few frames, I realized that there was just something missing in the top right-hand portion of this image. It was just way too dark. So I then decided to add another light source directly behind the subject with a gel. The additional pop of color to the top right-hand corner of the image really helped to make this image come together. After we were done shooting the hotel room, we started to head to downtown Charlotte. Actually, we were gonna go to a different location, but that location wanted to charge us $50 to get in. So we decided, yeah, we're not gonna pay that, and we just went down to downtown Charlotte. Typically, when I'm working with natural light, I'm actually drawn to the light first and then the location second. But in this particular case, I was really drawn to the colorful chairs. They had some nice green chairs where we were walking, and I was drawn to that location first because of the subject's dress. Unfortunately, I don't have much video footage from this first setup because we literally only had about 20 minutes to create these images. And the reason for that is that a security guard came down and told us that we need to get off of the property. But we negotiated with the security guard and he gave us about 20 minutes to, get our shot and get off of the property. Now, because of that, I really didn't have any chance to set up the video. I just wanted to get the shot. Now, I wasn't really happy with this shot. You guys are gonna see the shot, but I wasn't really happy with it. And the reason for that is because I wasn't really happy with the light. I needed some more time to work with the subject. I usually take my time working with subjects to get the image that I want, as opposed to rushing through and just getting a shot. So yeah, I just needed to get some better light on the subject to create the look that I wanted to create for this particular image. I got the composition that I wanted, but I didn't get the light that I wanted. But in any case, here's the image. So the direct sunlight. Now, working with the direct sunlight for me can be so much fun, so interesting, and you can get a very dramatic images. So after we were done with the colorful chairs and we were walking back to the streets, I noticed some nice texture of light and shadows on the wall, which I thought was amazing. The problem was the light on the subject was not great. I had to bring the subject out of the shade and into the direct sun. For this image to work, I had to turn the subject's body away from the light because the sun was too bright on her dress. Once her body was turned away from the light, I then turned her face into the light. This simple setup added depth and dimension to the subject's face, which is exactly what I wanted. In addition, I was able to retain the texture in the background, which initially drew my interest. So with the texture in the background and with the beautiful light on the subject, I was able to create the most beautiful image, I think, in this series. So my final setup for this photo shoot was basically to utilize the sun as a backlight. So as we were walking back to the car where the car was parked, which was not too far from where that last image was taken. Actually, is as soon as we walked out the alleyway where we were and we made the left and we were going back, right there we saw this nice light. And then we basically utilized the reflector to bounce some light back into the subject's face. So this was a really simple setup, but the key to getting this particular image was making sure that the sun was directly behind the subject and just utilizing the reflector to bounce some light back into the subject's face, giving the image some depth and dimension, which is what I really enjoy when I create my images utilizing light. So again, very simple setup. Here's the image. All right guys, so in conclusion, this is what I would say. I walked into a situation not knowing anything, and I was able to walk away with some keepers, not all, but some. My message here is that know light, understand how light impacts your image, understand how light can add depth and dimension to your images. Most importantly, don't tether yourself to just being a natural light photographer or a strobe photographer, because you never know what situation you will be walking into where you will need access to that knowledge. I always say this: practice, practice, practice. Practice all lighting situations, because you never know which one you're gonna need. All right? All right, guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Put some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Share this video with your friends and family. And guys, if you got this far in this video and you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, well, I'm not forcing you to, but you can subscribe if you like. All right? So guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.
Okay, so you were actually shooting with the lamp in the shots, not using my light, and then with this you was using the model lamp for the video.
Using the modeling light for rim light.
For the rim light.
Yeah. And
okay.
The main light was this. This was
gotcha. This is the key light, and that was the rim light in the back. Somebody said, is it easy to color grade with the mixed lighting?
Light is light, bro. You
yeah.
just have to play with it.